Welcome to the month of July. July is a month where most people realize something uncomfortable. You're not invisible. You're just not being seen the way you want to be. Because it's not that people aren't noticing you, it's that they're responding to the version of you that you keep showing them. And if that version of you is still playing small, softening your truth, adjusting to be accepted, then no matter how much you want more visibility, more money, more recognition, you won't hold it. So let me ask you something honestly. Are you actually ready to be seen? Or do you just like the idea of it? Because July isn't about doing more. It's about becoming someone who can actually hold being seen, paid and recognized. Before we go any deeper, if this is already landing, I would really love for you to hit subscribe and tap the notification bell, because this space, it's not here for surface level motivation. It's here to help you rebuild your identity, your standards and your reality, especially in the areas where you've been playing small or second guessing yourself. And if you're ready for that, drop an emoji in the comments so that I know you're here for it. A heart or fire emoji. All right, let's talk about what July is actually doing to you, because this month, it's not subtle. July is governed by Energy Body 7, the aura self. And this is where things get real, because your aura isn't just something spiritual you think about in meditation. It is a thing that determines how people perceive you, how they respond to you, and what they believe you're available for. It's your presence. It's your signal. It's the way you are felt before you are understood. And here's the truth most people aren't ready for. You don't attract what you want. You attract what your aura consistently communicates. So if your aura is saying, I'm not fully sure of myself, I don't want to be too much, I hope this lands well, then what you receive back is hesitation, inconsistency, lack of recognition, people meeting you below your level. Not because life is unfair, but because your signal is unclear. And July is the month that makes that impossible to ignore. Because on top of this, you're not just in any year. You're in a universal year one, and that changes everything. So here's the layer most people are missing. You're not just in July. You're in a universal year one. And year one doesn't care about your comfort. It cares about your identity. This is a year where life starts asking you one very simple question, but a confronting question. Who are you now? Not who you've been, not who you've learned to be to survive, not who people are used to interacting with, but who are you willing to stand in? Without shrinking, without softening, and without second-guessing yourself. Because this is what happens in a year one. Old identities start to feel tight, uncomfortable, outgrown. The version of you who avoids being seen, keeps things small and manageable, adjusts to keep the peace. That version starts to feel heavy. And most people misinterpret that. They think, I must be doing something wrong. I feel off. I feel uncertain. No, you're not off. You're being asked to evolve. And July is where that becomes visible. Because Energy Body 7 doesn't let you hide behind effort. It exposes how you show up, which means this month is going to be triggering something very specific. And if you don't understand it, you'll think you're regressing. So let's talk about what you're actually going to feel this month, because this is where people start spiraling, when actually they're just being activated. You might notice a fear of being seen more than usual, second guessing your voice, your content, your presence, wanting more, but also wanting to hide, feeling exposed when you step up, questioning your value, especially around money. And here's the thing, this isn't random. This is your nervous system reacting to a new level of visibility, because part of you wants expansion. But another part of you still associates being seen with judgment, rejection, pressure, or getting it wrong. So what do? You pull back slightly, you hesitate, you soften your edge, and it is subtle, but it's enough to keep you exactly where you've been. And this is where I'm going to call you out a little. You say you want to be seen, but when the moment comes to actually being seen, you adjust yourself to make it safer. That's the gap. And this is exactly why your results don't match your potential, because your identity and your visibility are not aligned. So let's bring this back to money, because I know that's what a lot of you care about. Money doesn't respond to effort. It responds to clarity, consistency, and self-concept. And all three of those are communicated through your aura. So if one day you're confident and the next day you're doubting yourself, if one moment you're fully owning your value and the next you're shrinking to be liked, then your results will feel inconsistent, unpredictable, unstable, not because you're doing something wrong, but because your signal keeps changing. And people feel that. Clients feel that. Opportunities feel that. So when you say, don't understand why it's not working, what you're really saying is, I'm not holding a consistent identity yet. And that's what July is correcting. So the question becomes, what do you actually do with this? This is where you stop waiting for things to shift and you start structuring your reality differently. First, choose your identity intentionally, not based on how you feel today, not based on your past, but based on where you're going. Ask yourself, who do I need to be to hold the life I say I want? And then this is the part people avoid. You show up as the version of you before you feel ready to. Second, stabilize your presence. Stop being different versions of yourself depending on who you're talking to, how confident you feel, how things are going. Consistency is what builds trust, internally and externally. Third, let yourself be seen properly, not the filtered version, not the softened version, not the safe version, the real one, because your life can only match the version of you that you're willing to reveal. And finally, stop waiting for validation. You don't become confident because people validate you. People validate you because you stop needing it. That's the shift. And if you take nothing else from this, take this. July is not asking you to do more. It's asking you to be different. So stop hiding behind who you've been and start standing in who you actually are. Because the truth is, your next level doesn't require more effort. It requires a version of you who is no longer afraid to be seen in it. So I want you to reflect on this, honestly. Where are you still shrinking when it's time to expand? Where are you still adjusting yourself to feel safe? Where are you still holding on to an identity that no longer fits? Because the moment you decide, this is who I am now, and you hold it, your entire reality starts to reorganize. Now, if you're feeling like this and thinking, I can see exactly where I'm holding myself back, but I don't know how to shift it, that's exactly what we work through inside my self-empowerment strategy session. It's a free 30-minute session where we break down your current identity patterns, where your energy is inconsistent, and how to rebuild your self-concept so you can actually hold visibility, money, and leadership. So if you're ready to stop shrinking and start being seen at your level, go ahead and book your session. The link is in the description box below. And if this has landed for you, make sure you hit subscribe, like this video, and drop a heart or fire emoji in the comments and let me know what landed for you or where you're struggling. Because this version of you, she doesn't hide anymore. So I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.